Chapter 5, I'll Give It a Try. The two news released by the Imperial Hao Group completely set off the entire Jinling. Upon hearing that the Imperial Luxurious Group had changed ownership, the Xiao family then figured out why the Wang family had been kicked out of the Imperial Luxurious Group. It seemed that the new owner of the Imperial Hao Group still couldn't look at a family like the Wang family. However, who exactly was young Master Ye? This person was too powerful, right? Hundreds of billions of dollars of the Hao Group, just buy it. Even the richest man in Jinling didn't have such a large sum of money as him. For a while, countless families were eager to get in touch with this mysterious young Master Ye, on one hand, and on the other hand, they were also eager for their daughters to get married to young Master Ye. On top of that, the fact that the Dehao Group was going to invest in a $2 billion hotel project also made the entire Jinling's construction and decoration industry tremble. $2 billion. If you just get a little bit of the trimmings, you'll be able to make a huge profit. Countless companies wanted to get a piece of the pie. This naturally includes the money-hungry old Madame Xiao. Old Mrs. Xiao was excited at this time. A $2 billion project, this was a great opportunity. If the Xiao family could get a contract from it, it would really be a big deal. Thus, she immediately commanded that a family meeting be called at home tonight to discuss how to make a breakthrough in the new project of the Imperial Hao Group, and everyone must attend. That night, the Xiao family villa. Because the old lady demanded that everyone must be there, Ye Chen also followed. He knew that the old lady was going to have a meeting to discuss how she could get a piece of the big project from the Imperial Hao Group. So, he wanted to take this opportunity to help his wife Xiao Churan grow a long face. When he arrived at the Xiao family villa, Xiao Churan's cousin, Xiao Hailong, immediately sneered as soon as he saw him. "FCK me, Ye Chen, you're really thick-skinned, and you still have the effing face to come and see Grandma." Xiao Churan said with a cold face, "Don't talk nonsense, it was Grandma who requested that everyone in the Xiao family had to be there. Ye Chen is my husband, so naturally he is also a member of the Xiao family." Xiao Hailong laughed loudly. "He counts as no Xiao family member. It's just a door-to-door son-in-law." Ye Chen touched his nose and said to Xiao Churan, "Forget about it, wife, don't be general with him, hurry up and go in, so as not to keep Grandma waiting." Xiao Churan nodded and owed Xiao Hailong a bit of good face, leading Ye Chen in. Seeing this, Xiao Hailong's face also turned cold. There would be something for them to see later. After entering the conference hall, Ye Chen and Xiao Churan found a seat in the corner. Soon, old Mrs. Xiao stepped in, and the family meeting officially began. Old Mrs. Xiao sat in the main seat, knocked on the table, and said in a spirited manner, "The Xiao family has been waiting for an opportunity for the past few years, an opportunity that would allow us to be among the ranks of the powerful families of Jinling. Now, this opportunity has finally come." Old Mrs. Xiao said in a loud voice, "This time, the Imperial Hao Group has thrown out a $2 billion project. Whoever can get a cooperation contract from it will surely benefit a lot. Moreover, this is the first big project after the change of ownership of the Imperial Hao Group. It's a great opportunity for our Xiao family. If we can cooperate with the Imperial Hao Group and leave a good impression on the new owner of the Imperial Hao Group, then the future of the Xiao family will be limitless." Although the old lady was spirited, the people underneath seemed to be somewhat unmoved. In fact, the Xiao family wants to cooperate with the Imperial Group. It has not been a day or two, for such a long time. The Imperial Group simply does not care about the Xiao family. The old lady now wants to get a piece of the Imperial Group's new project. How can it be possible? Seeing that everyone here was silent, Mrs. Xiao became irritated and questioned, What are you all mute? Don't you all have the confidence to take a little bit of the edge from a $2 billion project? The crowd looked at me, I looked at you, not daring to chime in at all. The old lady's expression became even angrier and she gritted her teeth. I'll put my words here today, whoever can negotiate a $30 million share of cooperation from the Imperial Hao Group will be the group's director. The moment these words came out, the people sitting in the room were all stunned. The old lady had always been dictatorial, so she had never created the position of director within the group. After all, the director had a lot of power, and it was almost as if the future successor of the group was qualified to hold this position. The old lady now used this position as a reward. Surely she hoped that there would be a brave man under the heavy reward, seeing that she had to be extremely eager for the projects of the Imperial Hao Group. However, although the position of director was good, it was not that good. In the eyes of Xiao's family, to enter into a partnership with Imperial Hao and get a $30 million contract, don't kid yourself. Even if old Mrs. Xiao personally came out, the executives of the Imperial Hao Group wouldn't see her, let alone talk about any cooperation. Inside the family meeting hall, there was silence. Seeing this, old Mrs. Xiao questioned with a face full of anger, as descendants of the Xiao family, is no one willing to share the Xiao family's worries? After saying that, old Mrs. Xiao's gaze directly looked at Xiao Heilong. Heilong, this matter is in your hands. Xiao Heilong laughed dryly a few times and hurriedly said, Grandma, right now even Wang Yunfei's family has been cleared out by the Imperial Hao Group. Our strength is still worse than the Wang family. How can we possibly get the Imperial Hao Group's contract? Old Mrs. Xiao immediately scolded, waste. Denying yourself before you've even tried, you're even more of a waste than that waste Chen. In fact, old Mrs. Xiao also had no bottom in her heart, but she was unwilling to be the helmsman of a second or third-rate family forever, and she dreamed of longing for the Xiao family to go to the next level. And this time, the project of the Imperial Hao Group was the only chance. Therefore, even if it was difficult, she was unwilling to give up. She had thought that Xiao Heilong, as the eldest grandson, would be able to accept this task painfully, but she hadn't expected him to beat a retreat at this time. Xiao Heilong was also depressed in his heart. Who would be willing to take on such an impossible task? He was afraid that he would be kicked out before he could even enter the gates of the Imperial Deluxe Group. At that time, not only would things not be accomplished, but he would also be laughed at and be a laughing stock, which was why he decided not to agree no matter what. After old Madame Xiao scolded Xiao Heilong, she asked loudly, where are the others? Do none of them dare to take on this task? Chen gently touched Xiao Churan with his elbow at this time and whispered, wife, take this mission. Xiao Churan hurriedly said, crazy. There's no way the Imperial Hao Group would cooperate with a small company like the Xiao family. Chen smiled faintly and said confidently, don't worry, you'll definitely be able to negotiate this cooperation. Xiao Churan was surprised and asked, really? Chen said with certainty, of course. I think you have no problem at all. Seize this opportunity, and your position in the Xiao family in the future will soar. Xiao Churan didn't know why, but at this moment, she actually believed Chen's words in a confused manner. She subconsciously stood up and said to old Mrs. Xiao, Grandma, I'm willing to give it a try.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to give me a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And not just subscribe, ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other episode. Stay tuned for the next exciting chapter of The Dragon Son-in-Law.